I lost my 10-year-old 40,000 subscriber YouTube channel to a Russian hacker, and you can too. This was one of the scariest situations I've been in for a long time, because I currently do full-time content creation, and 2 days after my account was hacked, I got an email from YouTube saying they couldn't help me get my channel back. There was a high likelihood that my channel was about to be gone forever. I'm going to recount my story and then let you know what steps you can take to avoid this ever happening. Late at night, I got a DM about a supposed Shopify sponsorship. There were a bunch of red flags from the beginning, like the fact that they didn't reach out via email, they asked a couple weird questions, but I'm fairly inexperienced when it comes to sponsors. I've only had a single sponsor thus far, and it was a very recent video. They asked me to download a zipped folder, open the PDF inside the folder, sign it, and then send it back. There was another file inside this folder as well, and my primitive ape brain just decided to double click it anyway because I was curious. It turns out this is probably the file that allowed them complete access to my Google account. Apparently, it's possible to completely bypass any and all security if you're able to steal session tokens. I'm not very knowledgeable on this subject, but the important thing to note is that regardless of how secure my account is, it doesn't matter at all in this situation. They just have access to everything. I woke up the next morning to my account being hacked, and my heart completely sunk at this point. It's hard to describe the feeling of knowing someone else has access to so much sensitive information, and is maliciously using your platform that you spent countless hours passionately working on. Not only was my YouTube channel now just a live stream shooting some crypto scam, but my Google account, which I use for almost everything, was also gone. Thankfully, I have a small presence on Twitter and was able to get Team YouTube to help me get my Google account back after about 24 hours. I was relieved to have my Google back, but this is when the situation got 10 times worse, because my YouTube channel was still indefinitely suspended, and the YouTube support worker I was emailing told me they can't do anything to get my account back. I was basically told your channel is gone, but there's nothing we can do. This was one of the worst moments in my life. Knowing 10 years of memories, half of my income is just gone because of one careless mistake I made. I got in contact with a bunch of other YouTubers at this point through Twitter, some of them much larger than me, that had also gotten hacked, and they were able to retrieve their channel the same time that they retrieved their Google account. The really unfortunate problem with me is that my channel had a trademark violation, and that made it way more difficult for me to get. I got incredibly unlucky with the circumstances surrounding my hack. At this point, I was just trying to get into contact with anyone else from YouTube, because the people I was talking to from YouTube could not help me at all, and they were very adamant about that. And I kept asking them if they could refer me to anybody, and they were just not interested in helping me at all. So at this point, I was really scared for the future of my channel, and I thought it was just over forever. With all that being said, the next day, one of my Twitch chat members got me in contact with somebody because they work at Google, and that was so relieving. I can't thank this person enough. I genuinely think if they didn't help me at all, I would have never gotten my channel back. This person they got me in contact with was super useful. They even offered to do a phone call with me for some live troubleshooting to get my channel back. It turns out Google is a massive company, and many of the teams at Google need to cooperate with each other to get situations like this sorted, which is why it still took multiple days to get my channel back. But now that I was talking to someone else, I was much more hopeful about my channel being restored. And in the morning of the 6th day, I finally got the good news that my channel was back. It still says MicroStrategy, even though I changed the name ASAP, but I'm hoping that fixes soon. So what can we do about this so it doesn't happen again in the future? And what can you do about it so it doesn't happen to you? My solution is to first of all, make sure all of my recovery options are up to date. For example, I didn't know about these account recovery codes that are very useful in case something like this happens. Obviously, everyone knows this, but make sure you're incredibly careful about downloading anything off the internet. Make sure it's from a trusted source and don't open random files. There's a feeling of this will never happen to me when it hasn't happened to you yet. So just remember that this can happen to anyone, and always err on the side of caution. It even happened to Linus Tech Tips, a tech YouTuber. One safety precaution I took is that from now on I'm only signed into my business email on the computer that I use for sponsorships. So if I do get hacked like this again, they won't have access to my YouTube. And thankfully, it looks like Google knows this is a problem and is actively working on making this type of hack more difficult. I can't tell you how relieving it is to have my channel back. I went through so many stages of grief throughout this whole process. I've learned a lot from this whole situation, and I'm extremely appreciative of everyone who reached out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please subscribe if you haven't already, because I lost over 1,000 subs from this. I actually dipped below 40k at one point, so any sub would be very appreciated. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next video.